RiffTrax. Never click tracks, better riffs I'm missing. Why you always gotta pick RiffTrax? It's your lucky day, it's time for RiffTrax.
Hello, I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to episode 50 of every RiffTrax short reviewed, where I take 5 RiffTrax shorts in chronological order, review them, and give them a rating between 1 and 5, with the points being good, great, awesome, fantastic, and spectacular, because I don't think a bad RiffTrax short exists. And this is a very, very special episode indeed. Not only are we reaching the 250th RiffTrax short, but this channel just reached over 1 million total views. And if that weren't enough, it's Faith's Take's 7th anniversary this month. I can't thank you guys enough for your awesome support. I never would have thought that I'd have evolved to have 1 million views, be a Twitch live streamer, and have just started a new gaming channel. So whether you've been here since day one, or this is your first video with me, thank you so much for your incredible support. But that's enough preamble. Let's get into episode 50 of every RiffTrax short reviewed. Number 246, A Word to the Wives, from June 30th, 2015.
A new hat would be the ideal tonic for you. I'm going down this afternoon for a small spree.
New Crocs.
Coming with me.
4 out of our 5 shorts in our big bash today star our fabulous riffing women, Bridget and Mary Jo. And we start with this absolute classic from them. This way too orange sepia-toned film starts with 2 women in a completely modernized kitchen. Or at least completely modernized for the past. Alice, the owner of said kitchen, brags and brags to her clearly depressed friend Jane, who has to deal with her bumbling husband and lackluster kitchen of yesteryear. Alice goes on and on and on about all her convenient appliances, while Jane insists she just has too much housework to even think about modernizing her own life. Jane wishes she had the now taken for granted ease of washers and dryers that her husband George doesn't feel the same need for. However, Alice decides that they can take matters into their own hands when Jane leaves for a weekend to aid her mother. Alice tells Jane to not worry about her husband and son and let them struggle without her. Jane reluctantly agrees, and we get a front row seat to her Christmas story dad of a spouse dealing with the realities of housework without the help of the appliances that the whole short is just one big commercial for.
It wasn't really a plot against George Peters.
But we killed him anyway.
Well, how do you like it?
There's only one word for it.
Suicide.
You know, I'm so proud of it, it's almost indecent of me. I can hardly wait to show it off, week from Friday night.
Well, you go ahead and be indecent.
With your sexy
You
hairdo.
enjoy your first. I haven't got your dream kitchen to make things easier. Mine's strictly the nightmare type.
Well, she does live on Elm Street, Mary Jo.
Think about it. We've looked at a couple of older houses, but that's no improvement. We've got an older house.
Man, you're a drag.
Only there was
She
some way
is.
of really selling George on the idea.
Would you like me to kneecap him, dear?
Free to sale or no sale, I'm swamped.
Why doesn't she just go and do her work then? Why is she sitting there? More coffee,
I've been thinking
please.
about taking the weekend off to...
It's completely automatic.
As you can see by these completely manual levers.
It might do him a world of good to be left all alone with Jimmy for 2 or 3 days. In your kitchen.
Is this the kitchen?
Jane finally got off for Cleveland. Still not too certain she was doing right by leaving George and Jimmy by themselves.
Not really
Even though
caring.
George was absolutely sure they'd get along just fine. That's what he said. Just fine.
We're just fine. Okay, so baking soda, this is what she laid out. This
Well, that and salt. You can see the salt, Bridget.
took her all week.
Who am I kidding? I don't even have a wife and son.
Hey, Pop! When am I gonna eat?
What's with this ice tray here? There's no ice in it.
Oh, I guess I forgot to fill it.
I forgot to go to school today, too.
You might
As the weekend drags on, George's struggles get more and more ridiculous as he fails to just bring the whole trash bin outside instead of letting the leaky bag fall apart, to then not even knowing how to open his house's own sticky cabinets. And after writing the script live on Twitch, we all agreed that their son Jimmy is definitely in on his mother and friend's scheme by purposefully not doing anything that could help his own father deal with these easily fixable problems. Once Jane's finally home, the couple heads to Alice's house, where at least this time her bragging mostly has a purpose. You know, except for the fact that she just has to bring up her recent golfing score, as well as keeping Jane from eating a marshmallow, but yet giving George one. Alice may be helping Jane in the long run, but she gives off some serious controlling mean girl vibes. Either way, Alice and her own husband show off all the amenities of their own awesome kitchen, and after the hellish week he endured, George is primed and ready for their sales pitch. So much so that he doesn't just agree to modernize their kitchen, but to get Jane an entirely modernized house out of nowhere. So I guess the plan worked even better than expected.
No, well, she can clean it up when she gets home tomorrow.
The smart way to do dishes was 2 meals at a time.
Or just eating out of the can.
Jimmy, did you have to take a bath this time of day? I'm gonna drop a hot water in the sink. I got a stack of dishes here a mile high. I'm gonna be here till midnight. What's the matter with you?
My father worked in profanity the way other artists might work in oils or clay. It was his true form.
Good botulism.
Hey, Pop, still putting your forearm over the door you're trying to open?
And when in doubt, rage.
Worked for my dad.
Look, I still have a couple of little things to do, but it'll only take a minute or so.
Your famous sweet potato casserole.
Yeah, only this time with shredded
Look at her.
pineapple
She just
instead of
slaps her
orange
hand.
juice. You two go over and sit at the table. Don will be back in a few minutes, George. He's doing some last-minute shopping for me.
Don't let Fatty Jane have one.
Oh, hey, I almost forgot the big news.
Oh, no.
I went out to Pond Ridge with Helen Baker today, and I broke 50 for the first time on 9 holes.
I've had it with this woman.
Rubbing her kitchen in her friend's nose.
She never says anything about the sick mom.
Withholding marshmallows.
And now the golf score.
Some of the evidence.
Sucks.
Incidentally, one of the things I love about this refrigerator is that it turns out ice circles and puts them in a bowl for you, all by itself.
Continuous ice circle.
Yeah? Really?
What the hell are ice
Taking
circles?
a chance of staining that.
This pipe here,
Yeah.
it gives you hot water for the bathroom and for the kitchen sink.
Oh, like a water heater.
Other pipe, this one gives you really hot water for clothes and for dishes to make them really clean.
Oh, so the exact same thing.
What the heck?
Well, all I want to say is that Dawn's
My kitchen is awesome!
turned into a rather interesting and as I mentioned before, it wasn't a plot against George. Well, you don't think Jane and I would do something like that, do you?
What? They bought a whole new house? I thought they just needed a kitchen.
You know, I think I'm going to have you and Ron come over this weekend, and you and I can shame him into getting you a house.
But we don't need an whole new house. We just need a water heater.
This short has been riffed multiple times, not just here, but in live shows as well, and it's an absolute Bridget and MJ classic, and I've got to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
By the way, did you know that this kitchen won an award from the Woman's Home Companion?
Of course it did.
Number 247, Animal Antics from July 14th, 2015.
This short sponsored by the Bunny Council. Bunnies, the smaller, lamer kangaroo.
The home life of the rat.
And here we have the only short today riffed by our original trio of riffing gentlemen. And it's both a lazy and bizarre short all at the same time. You see, I guess they wanted to tell the tale of a bunny, but found the weirdest way to do it. The short starts with a family of bunnies who apparently deal with a deadbeat of a dad who's always out and about town. One day after hearing his mother complain about his father once again, little Peter decides to head out and explore on his own. Along the way, he steals food from nearly everyone he meets and gets sexist lessons from another. Now, while this may not sound too bad for a children's short, just taking random animal footage and tying a weak plotline to it, it's really the narration that makes this one so odd. The short is a mere 9 minutes, but if this narrator spoke at a normal human speed, it would be about twice that length. I don't know if the narrator had a hot date that night or was high as a kite in the booth, but either way, even I think he talks way too fast.
Picture before, and we know. He's figured it out. If father disappears every day, not to mention nights now and again, there must be
Deadbeat rabbit dads are called Harveys.
Hi, Cracky. Peter, nobody knows what I've been through. Your father's not all he should be. What with his business, his clubs, and, well, I won't go into that. But
look, I think he's been selling your kids to Mary Kay.
Nothing but a... too bad the old man's such a roustabout, thinks Peter.
And that divorce is strictly forbidden by the rabbit pope.
If I follow this street, they're too much fur as that goes, so beat it. Boom. What a grouchy old croaker he turned out to be. I'm getting hungry. Hello there, may I have a snack with you?
You think the narrator just takes one huge breath at the beginning?
Just because I give you food? Well, I'll be doggone.
That American Gothic guy wasn't kidding about ramming his pitchfork through my skull.
Oi, pick on a fellow your own size, says Peter. I'm not doing any harm. Can't I have a bite to eat? Without being jostled about and pushed all over the place?
I said those exact words at Cracker Barrel last weekend.
Hey, you see, my father's name is Rambler. Well, we don't say much about it outside the family, but...
Cut to home visit with social worker Possum.
He's a traveling man, and Mother says... Look here, young fella, you don't need to tell me. I've heard that stuff all my married life. Your old man's dead right. Never let your women get the upper hand. If you
so
do,
many
you're
wholesome takeaway lessons for the kids.
After all, nobody's ever found out...
After being chewed out by his mother for staying out in the rain, Peter decides to run off again, not heeding her warning at all, just like real human children. This time he tempts fate a little too far by heading back onto a farm. After stealing some feed from growing chicks and spouting off some of the rooster's sexist beliefs about his own mother, Peter shows how right his mother actually was by getting caught by a farmer. The narrator takes the opportunity to condescend to his young audience about the nature of suspense. But Hitchcock he is not, so he should keep his mouth shut and finish just telling his weak story. Once Peter is a prisoner, the 80-something-year-old farmer gives him to his 6-year-old daughter to have as a pet. And if you thought this short couldn't get any more weird, the last 2 minutes do just that. The narrator takes innocent footage of a bunny in a dollhouse and makes it kind of sexual and gross for no reason whatsoever. It makes me really wonder if this was written, or if it was the hyperspeed narrator's own drugged-up ramblings.
And it's quite as hard for young rabbits to remember that April showers are raining violets as it is for the rest of us.
When it's the early afternoon of the Lepus.
There I was. Peter! Oh, Lord, there's Mother calling me.
Oh, nuts, I forgot to pick up her Pall Malls.
Where have you been, Peter? You're soaking wet. How often have I told you not to go away without telling me? And yet it seems to do no good at all.
Were you cross-dressing with your cousin Bugs again?
Father, every day. Gosh, women are a funny lot. Mother's always complaining about something. I guess she must enjoy it.
I had no idea rabbits were unlikable sexist dickbags.
Oh, well. Wonder how I get into this contraption.
So many animals' last thought on Earth.
Cabbage, yum, yum, yum. While Peter, unaware of advancing fate, munches the fresh green leaves. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call in the movies suspense.
Will he be spit roasted or braised in Belgian ale?
Peter opens the frame and seizes the astonished and frightened Peter. But it's all right. Don't worry. Peter is given into the gentle hands of Farmer Hick's little daughter, Agnes.
Daughter? I think you mean great-great-great-granddaughter?
But he doesn't even get to first base with this little lady. You're a funny one, thinks Peter. Now, how about just a little reaction, huh? After all, you must admit I'm doing my part.
This is like Watership Down meets Jersey Shore.
Smells nice, but it tickles my... I mustn't forget I'm a gentleman, though. I'll have to make at least one more attempt to be sociable.
I'm worried that the narrator never even knew there was a camera running.
Haven't we met before somewhere? What in the name of Father's furry years can this gadget be?
And the scene of the young rabbit sniffing the toilet became the holiest scripture in the furry universe. The end.
Eat it, furries.
As usual, a company takes cute, unrelated animal footage and has to make a story out of it, when I'm 99% sure kids would rather just watch the creatures being sweet. And while the riff is good, it doesn't have a ton of rewatch laughs for me, so this one earns a 2 out of 5.
And here we meet Peter Fletcherizing for dear life, and apparently...
It's neat how auctioneers used to be able to get these narration gigs on the side.
We've seen this picture before.
Number 248, The Relaxed Wife and Consuming Women, from July 23rd, 2015.
Is your hand quivering, your teeth clenched, your eyes staring, your brow wrinkled?
Botox could be right for you.
This short is a twofer. We have one full 13-minute short, as well as a mini short of about 3.5 minutes tacked on at the end, but we'll get to that in a second. After some nearly impossible-to-read opening credits, we meet our relaxed wife and her stressed-out husband. After burning his mouth on some pre-bedtime coffee, he rants about never being able to relax enough to sleep. Thankfully, his wife owns literally a dozen different books about how to de-stress your life. How she let him get this frustrated without sharing her secret relaxation methods is left a mystery. He begins to read and imagine all that the book says, which leads to some absolutely horrendous mugging to the camera. Eventually, the wife snatches the book back and decides to read to him instead. The book does actually acknowledge how both working men and their housewives have difficult stresses to deal with, so that's nice to see. The wife reads that by only focusing on your personal affairs and doing good work, but not even your best, it'll help ease your life. It may not be realistic for most of us, but that's the advice the short gives.
Attempts at relaxing prove quite taxing. No joking. The effort may be most provoking.
I don't like early Dr. Seuss.
Now, you just drink this and you'll be fast asleep in no time.
Coffee, king of sleep aids.
You weren't supposed to gulp it, just sip it. After all, how can a drink relax you if it isn't nice and warm?
By being a martini?
Relax, impossible.
Why doesn't he just come out and say he wants to push the beds together? She's not a mind reader.
Here's what you need. How to relax. Just start reading it. See if it doesn't make you feel better.
Oh, why won't she just let me resign effective noon tomorrow?
By William Durst. Forward by O.J. Simpson.
You can start right now by thinking of some of the things that make you tense. Go ahead. Think.
My hatchet face?
Without much trouble.
Having 28 persons were killed last night at a tornado that struck suburbs south of the city. Why no, more than 100 ways of government change people, and a new high school was
Thin!
Though your heart is aching.
For the weekend!
We know his wife doesn't pass her days just blowing bubbles.
She does spend them wondering why she lives in this weird house.
That's what relaxation does for you. Unwinds you from the top of your head to the toes of your feet.
Where else would you have toes?
Would you like to feel this?
Well, think of that. A pressure cooker.
All right, I'm thinking of it. I'm a pressure cooker.
I'm highly efficient and use less energy than other appliances.
Increase the pressure on when you tackle your problems. Remember that what you do is so critical that you have to solve them perfectly. Under such reduced pressures, you'll begin enjoying yourself wherever you are, untroubled by life's daily problems.
Cute hat.
Next in the relaxation regimen is stretching and easing the tension in your muscles. But while this may relax our protagonist, it makes us, the audience, feel very tense, as we see the man's very weird-looking feet and his enormous Billy Bass mouth wide open. Seriously, this guy could give Kirby a run for his money. The short reaches a tangent about chemistry and medicines that can help, but it doesn't seem to really point out a specific medicinal aid for these problems. It then tells us to not bother chasing what we want too hard, but to settle so as to be relaxed and as stress-free as possible. While I understand not overreaching to the point of absolute exhaustion, this way of life also seems not too feasible or grounded in reality. Either way, this eases, or bores, the husband enough to finally get him to fall asleep. And that brings us to the mini-short, Consuming Women. While it may sound like a Twilight Zone-level twist, it's a very simple, very pointless little short. It describes women who are married, single, have children, have jobs, and they all like to spend money. And that's it! Literally, that's the only thing the short says at all in its less than 4-minute runtime. No wonder it was just tacked on at the end.
And rolling your shoulders and neck muscles, like a prize fighter warming up before the bell. Try it. There's nothing like a good physical workout to relax your muscles.
Okay, I am not going to judge anyone's foreplay rituals.
Provided you don't... Arms, shoulders, neck. Let your jaw drop.
Gaze not into the abyss.
Slow, deep. Notice how wonderful you're beginning to feel. Like you were floating away into dreams.
And he died.
As for today, medical science recognizes that some folks aren't helped by relaxing exercises.
So never mind.
In cases of difficult tension and nervous apprehension, doctors are now prescribing an ataraxic medicine.
Crystal meth.
Say, those arms aren't married.
Say.
Throughout this nation, no longer tense over daily worries and strife.
That's what having a toddler feels like.
Just wait till the internet. Everything will depress me then.
Who was it said that we begin to grow wise when we learn not to chase too hard the things we prize.
You just said that.
When your mind and muscles are relaxed, your body pleasantly
I'm
tired,
sleeping.
rather than nervously exhausted. A relaxing bath, a warm drink, and a good dull book are enough to make you hot.
Can a book be good and dull?
Turn out the light.
Have learned the secret of mastering our mood.
And she shivs him.
Oh my God! How did she hide that tent under the robe?
That was a robe. It wasn't a dress.
I thought it was, I kept wondering why she didn't get her dress for bed.
Okay, there's no title on this, but the label said consuming woman, which I am pretty sure is illegal.
Unless we're German cannibals. I think you can do it then.
She is single and fun-loving.
I'm fun-loving.
She's going to stay single if she keeps dancing like that. Cindy?
Mimi!
Debbie?
Mimi!
Steve!
Got it.
Because of this, you have to spend 3 more hours in the baby jail.
Or she may hold a part-time job.
As a professional mistake maker.
Silly woman.
And she spends money.
But apparently feels terrible about
our
it.
Consumer is a real person. One of a large group of individuals that make up our consumer world.
Okay, individuals who are women, who are cute, but can't really do anything.
Yeah, what was the point of that?
I don't know. Let's go shopping.
These two shorts may not have anything in common on the surface, but thanks to the riffs, they're both at least funny now, and I'm going to give this entry a 3.5 out of 5.
Or she works in an office full-time.
50,000 unmarked bills. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Number 249, Naturally a Girl, from August 7th, 2015.
How do you dispose of feminine napkins? Flush down the toilet? Wrap and put
C, bury in the woods.
with some, you just wrap.
Oh, public education sex ed videos. As a homeschooled shut-in, I never had to worry about seeing any shorts like this one. Anything regarding periods or pregnancy was just learned about with books and my parents. I never had to sit among dozens of my peers squirming at what's on screen. But that's what this short is, telling all these 1970s girls about how normal it is to menstruate once a month. But honestly, the short does a pretty good job hitting the subject head on and not acting like it's the end of the world. It treats it like it actually is, an average part of life that every young woman has to go through. I actually appreciate the fact that this short doesn't shoehorn in a weird storyline or a cartoon character to talk down to these girls dealing with the realities of growing up. The oddest thing is honestly the way girls apparently had to hook pads onto themselves back then, when sticky pads were a new invention. Though to tell you the truth, pads probably stayed better in place with that belt thing, so we may have actually traded efficiency for convenience.
But sometime between the ages of 9 and 16, one very special event happens to every girl.
Diminishing self-esteem.
A female cycle, it happens about every 28 days.
It happens to every girl. You have it every month. It means you can have babies.
That's a crucial piece of the supply chain.
You have it once a month. It's a natural process. It enables you to have children.
Natural does not equal right.
Every girl has 2 ovaries containing thousands of microscopic egg cells.
With a side of microscopic bacon.
This time is often called the period.
Or my Aunt Flo.
Surfing the crimson wave.
The curse.
Communist in the funhouse.
On the rag.
Mother Nature's monthly gift.
Rebooting the ovarian operating system.
In the red tent.
There's a crime scene in my pants.
Sunday, bloody Sunday.
Girl flu. Euphemisms.
Whenever it happens for you is the right time.
Boy, she is really trying to put a positive spin on this.
Sometimes I skip a month.
You know, if I don't feel like having my period.
Even if you are pretty regular, the schedule can be thrown off if you are tense or upset, if you get overexcited,
or try to do schoolwork,
or don't feel well. Everything will soon
go periods!
The belt is worn around the waist and holds the napkin safely and comfortably between the legs.
Using a system of levers and pulleys.
Or there's a new kind of napkin that doesn't need belts, pins or special panties. So it's
Wow,
very
technology is amazing.
Steve Jobs has done it again.
strips on the
The film goes on to describe all the symptoms of having a period, from mood swings to cramps. Though, interestingly, a lot of the girls being interviewed insist they don't deal with many negative side effects anymore, which, as a 28-year-old who still gets headaches and cramps, that sounds really nice, but also like a lie. It also goes into what you can and can't do during your period. And while some of the questions make sense, like can you swim or not, some of them just sound completely out of left field. Like, can you wash your hair? What does that have to do with menstruation? Like, how does that even correlate at all? But overall, the short encourages the girls that they can still live their lives to the fullest even during that time of the month, which is honestly really great to see, especially for a film that's nearly 50 years old now.
Some days the flow will be lighter than other days.
Flo, when will Progressive just fire her?
Oh, I like her. And will help you understand more about what happens during menstruation.
Oh my gosh, Mary Jo, I had this book. I had this exact book, and I forgot it on the bus, and it had my name in it.
Oh, excellent.
I think Bill Plufkin found it.
Didn't I say my hair gets a little oily?
For real? Yes.
Once in a while I get a pimple, but that's all.
Oh, Miss Perfect.
Your hair during your period?
No. Pass.
People used to think you shouldn't, but now we know that it's especially important to take a bath or shower every day during your period.
To ward off evil spirits.
What was the thing with not taking a shower?
I don't know. Listeners, if you know, call in.
Every night. Does every girl get cramps during her period?
Only as an excuse to get out of stuff.
Totally. Like some girls like to get cramps and, like they have a headache or stomachache or something. But I don't get anything. I never get them. I never do now, but I used to.
Well, this is not helpful.
So nobody's getting cramps.
I guess not. I guess it just brought it up.
It's up
for no
to
reason.
The lower abdomen during swimming during your period.
No, don't. You'll attract sharks.
Everybody knows that.
Swimming during menstruation. Hardly pay any attention to it anymore.
Oh, shut up. Does she even get one?
Yeah, Miss Perfect again.
But there's no need to miss out on any of the fun just because you're menstruating.
She's made a billfold out of maxi pads.
Confident for anything.
Hoist it up there. Do it right. These chicks are all in the same cycle and they're going to tear us apart, Bill.
I think it's great. I mean, I like being a woman, and I was always looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it, too.
Growing up isn't always fun, but it does have a lot to recommend it. I used to dream of being an actress.
And now I'm in menstrual films.
Whatever your future may be.
This short is one of the rare, but actually useful shorts the RiffTrax has covered, and Bridget and Mary Jo had a fun layer to it. This one's getting a 3.5 out of 5.
Well, at least they're leavening the mood with an upbeat sing-along.
You know what, Mary Jo, though, it really is a nice song. I mean, I hope that we're always friends. It's like lately I feel like there's something wrong, but
do you need some Midol?
Shut up.
You're welcome.
Number 250, Cindy Goes to a Party, from September 15th, 2015.
Come
on, Cindy, go! Come on, go! Sit down.
Social gatherings. Whether you love them or fear them, there's something everyone has to face eventually. Unless you're Cindy, in which case you didn't get invited in the first place. After hearing from her best friend Dennis that he's going to a party at Mary's house the next day, Cindy realizes she isn't welcome. She tells her mother, who insists there must have been a mix-up, but she just leaves Cindy to stew in bed anyway. That's when a magical fairy godmother of sorts appears in her room in the middle of the night. She says it's time to start getting ready despite it being dark out, and reveals she can control all of time and space by making it fast forward to the next afternoon. She dresses Cindy nicely and the two head off. Dennis is pleasantly surprised to see Cindy arrive, and the two head in to enjoy the party together, where the fairy godmother reveals herself to Dennis as well. While this all may seem good enough to you, the fairy has different ideas, forcing them to participate in all the games and festivities, because enjoying each other's company in a social situation just isn't good enough.
I'm going to Mary's party tomorrow, aren't you?
A party? Why, I didn't even... No, I don't like parties. I never have any fun at parties.
Pig's blood gets dumped on my head.
You will get an invitation to the party. There's just been some mix-up. Wait and see.
Oh, it's not important anyhow.
I'll just watch Bonanza.
Good night, Mother.
Good night, Cindy.
Sweet dreams of revenge, honey.
I'm your fairy godmother. Sure.
She's hardened. The 9-year-old cynic.
You. Hurry up or you'll be late. The party isn't until this afternoon. It is this afternoon.
Oh, I missed my paper route.
Oh, what a mess.
Well, yeah, I just got up.
That's why our party can't really get going until everyone arrives. So whenever you go to a party, Cindy, always
get drunk first.
Be on time.
See who?
Touch who, heal who.
See me.
Feel me.
What?
She's going to help us enjoy the party.
In a hostage situation type way.
See, they're setting up for a game of musical chairs.
Oh, but I don't like the
chairs.
There.
The games go on, and Fairy Godmother insists the two not poke fun at each other despite being best friends, and to always remain civil and keep those fun personalities to yourself. The party then goes on with game after game, and I don't know about you, but I was never at a party this fun growing up. Fairy watches creepily from atop the mantel clock until it's time for cake. She gives Cindy and Dennis a few more rules before saying now that Cindy has no need for her, she must leave. Giving some Fairly Odd Parents vibes here. Cindy cries out for her to stay, but that's when it's revealed the whole party was a dream. Cindy wakes up to her mother and Mary's sister, who, wouldn't you know it, looks identical to the Fairy Godmother. It turns out she was supposed to deliver Cindy's invite days ago and just forgot. Way to go, Mary's sister. Let down your own sister and Cindy in one fell swoop. But at least now Cindy can go and party with her friends after all.
Everybody get up.
Yeah, oh, I'm a sex machine. Yeah, everybody get up.
That was a really good James Brown, Bridget.
Thank you. I'm going to fine you 5, 10, 15, 20.
Oh, gracious. It's about to get real.
Oh, this joint is bumping.
Yeah, and you lost your chair, too. You're out of the game. That's what you get for bumping into things.
You're a bad person.
I'm kidding.
I know, but
I know.
Don't tease or make fun of others. Not even your very best friends.
But it's okay if I shame you.
Just remember your manners.
They're by your keys.
Be polite. And above all,
suppress your personality.
Oh, really? How long is this party?
Shirley Jackson's The Lottery, the home version.
Go ahead and write it for us if you want to.
Sure, we want you to write it for us.
You do? May I?
F-U-C...
Remember your table manners. You didn't really need my help. You knew it already. I guess you don't need me anymore.
Nope. Bye now.
Be going. Oh, no. Oh, yes. You can't see or hear fairies unless you need them. And you don't need me anymore.
Yep, real good then.
But
bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go. Don't go.
Cindy.
Don't go.
Wake up, Cindy.
It's time for bed.
I just dreamed
that she was supposed to deliver your invitation to Mary's party 3 days ago. But she forgot.
Isn't she dumb?
Wasn't it nice of her to come by so early this morning?
Any short with a Mr. B-esque character is going to get a good riff and a good score from me, so this one gets a 4 out of 5.
What do I do?
Why, just what you have been doing.
Ruining it for everyone.
Obey the rules of the game.
Thank you all so much for watching, and as usual, huge thanks to all of my glorious Patreon supporters, including Jackie Ball, Kevin Nata, and Isabella Summit. And once again, thank you guys for 7 years and 1 million views. The beginning of this year was really tough for me personally, and I'm still dealing with some struggles, but I'm trying to better my life, and I'm slowly climbing that hill. I'm really working on getting my channels bigger and better, improving my editing, and the amount of videos and streams I get out there. I really hope it's all up from here. If you enjoyed this video and love RiffTrax in general, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share, because it would really help me out. And if you want to see more, please also stop by my Twitch channel, Discord, and my new gaming channel, which will all be linked below. Here's to the next 7 years. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.